We're staying on top of the breaking news today. President Jimmy Carter dead at the age of 100 years old. That announcement coming from the Carter Center around 4:15 this afternoon. Joining us right now is Rafael Sanchez Cruz, keeping a close eye on how local lawmakers now are reacting. And what we're hearing from some of our local lawmakers is the connection that many of them had to the former president that many of us didn't even know about.
Yeah, that's right, Larry. There's been an outpour of messages from elected officials who say former President Jimmy Carter was that model of humility in office. And some politicians are sharing the impact of the 39th president in their own lives. One of those is Virginia Senator Mark Warner. In a statement, Warner said, in part, Jimmy Carter gave me my first job out of law school, and I have deeply admired his service since leaving the Oval Office. His dedication to building homes through Habitat for Humanity has always brought back warm memories of my father, who also volunteered with the organization well into his 80s. Like much of the greatest generation, President Carter will be remembered by what he built and left behind for us, a model of service, late into life, a tireless devotion to family and philanthropy, and more peaceful world to call home. And another one of our own, Maryland Congressman David Trone, issuing a statement tonight that says, in part, "Today I join my fellow Americans in mourning President Carter, a man who never gave up on his aspirations to make government more compassionate for all. President Carter's dedication to the American people was admirable, and his drive to further human rights was aspiring. After working on his campaign in 1976, I learned this firsthand." Also, Larry, Maryland Senator Ben Cardin recognized Carter's work today in civil rights, and he called him a, quote, American treasure. So just a lot of support, a lot of setting the bar that we're hearing from our local leaders here in the DMV.
And it's interesting when you look back at his history and you consider the circumstances that he was in the time in which he was in office, where the country was culturally, economically, the sort of challenges that they were dealing with. There's a lot that we can learn from Jimmy's time, President Carter's time in office, that we can apply to today in terms of not only how we treat people, but how we deal with the challenges that we have as a country as well.
Dr. Perry making those comments really echoing what we're living right now. And I think it's a lot that we can learn from Jimmy Carter as we move forward with this transition.
Yeah, history certainly repeats itself. Rafael, thank you so much. Well, President Barack Obama just put out a statement about the passing of former President Jimmy Carter, saying, quote, in his Nobel acceptance speech, President Carter said, "God gives us the capacity for choice. We can choose to alleviate suffering, and we can choose to work together for peace." He made that choice again and again over the course of his 100 years, and the world is better for it. Reactions are continuing to pour in after it was announced that Jimmy Carter passed away at the age of 100 years old. You can find many more of those statements on our website. That's WUSA9.com, and our full special report with an in-depth look at Carter's life and legacy streaming right now on demand on WUSA 9 Plus. We'll be right back.